I'm Colette Gibbings. I'm a senior keeper here in Tiny Giants at ZSL London Zoo. I look after the vast array of corals, fish, jellyfish, and all the other aquatic invertebrates in our building. Corals are unique because most people think they're plants, but they're actually animals. So they create their own skeleton, and they live in a symbiotic relationship with a type of algae known as zooxanthellae. The corals eat food to provide nutrients for the algae, and the algae provides nutrients through photosynthesis for the corals. Corals are important because the reef structure actually supports around 25% of all marine life. They are important for coastal protection, from land erosion. They're very important for fisheries, and 500 million people on the planet rely on the corals to support the fisheries globally. Corals are one of the most difficult animals to keep in captivity. They require a lot of additional care. We have to check all water quality at least once a week, but we have certain things that we have to check daily. With such sensitive animals, they are very susceptible to any fluctuations, so keeping everything as stable as possible is the best thing for coral keeping. They require the light for photosynthesizing for their algae, but they also require feeding like normal animals do. And there is an element of cutting bits off to create new colonies, and a lot of weeding just to make sure the corals are being kept safe from any sort of pest species. It's definitely a labour of love. Corals are faced with a lot of issues globally: ocean acidification, overfishing, and also land pollution. One of the big ones is climate change. The newest data suggests that the planet could be increasing by 2 degrees by 2050, which predicts that we would lose 99% of corals. ZSL works with a variety of partners worldwide to help conserve corals. Within ZSL, we have something called the EDGE list, which is the Evolutionary, Distinct and Globally Endangered Coral List, which helps identify the most unique and rare corals in the world that we can focus on conserving. ZSL especially works within the Chagos archipelago. We are the only ones with access to these islands, and a lot of them are critically endangered species, such as the Chagos brain coral, Tenella chagos, which is one of the rarest species in the world. We do aim one day to be able to bring that coral into captivity. So our new coral reef exhibit has been running for around 2 years. We have 75 different coral species. We also house various species of fish, crabs, shrimps, snails, all sorts of things in our tank. Basically, all of our corals will have come from confiscations from Heathrow Airport. So these would have been corals coming in illegally for the fish trade that have been seized by Heathrow and donated to us to look after. So this is one of our corals behind the scenes. It's a platygyra brain coral. They are incredibly interesting. They form these kind of very long, kind of meandering balls, which are quite unusual kind of within the coral kingdom. This is our copper-band butterfly fish. It's one of our most important fish within the zoo. They are very good at pest control of a certain anemone that come in on the live rock that we get. To be able to move in between tanks, we want to give them a choice to be able to move instead of stressing them out by trying to catch them. So we've developed a method of training them to go into a jug. These are one of our large polyp corals. They're known as a mushroom coral or fungia. They're quite a fascinating species because each single one of these is one single polyp, whereas in most corals, when you see them, each individual dot is an individual polyp. And what also makes them interesting is when the adult skeletons die off, they actually produce new babies from the old skeleton. So you can see here, there's 3 babies on this one here, right near the shrimp. And then when they're ready, they just kind of pop off down onto the ocean floor and they grow into a whole new mushroom colony. And then they just continue that cycle throughout their lives. Thank you for supporting ZSL's work with corals and allowing us to help preserve these species for future generations.